8 things you should never tell a man. Good communication is the foundation of great relationships, but it doesn't mean you may say anything and everything that comes to mind. Certain things are best left unsaid. Although men appear to be intangible and like to maintain a nothing-can-touch-me attitude, they are still humans who can be affected by many kinds of things. Mindful communication increases a couple's compassion and allows both sides to be respectful of each other. One of the most important advantages of being conscious of communication is that it helps to avoid misunderstandings. The reality is that you may not even know you're saying hurtful things to your partner, especially in stressful situations where emotions are running high and defensive mechanisms take over. With that in mind, here are a few sayings that specialists strongly advise against at all costs if you want to protect your bond. 1. Calm down. Sure, it may feel natural to say this when your partner's emotions begin to escalate, but stop and think for a minute. Has advising someone to calm down ever worked? Better still, can being told to calm down ever help you feel better? Or does it have the reverse effect of stoking your anger? According to Katie Lassen, a professional sexologist and relationship advisor, calm down is one of the worst things you can say to someone during a heated dispute or tense circumstance. According to Lassen, this phrase can be especially triggering for people who have had previous trauma from their feelings being invalidated, such as by a parent or former significant other. As for what to say instead, Lassen says it's okay to say something like, "It's difficult for me to help you when you raise your voice like that. If you could turn down your volume, I'd love to hear you out." 2. That's in the past. Can't you just move on already? If you have harmed or violated your partner's trust, you will most likely want to move on from the situation. However, according to Dr. Lisa Mary Bobby, LNFT, founder and clinical director of Growing Self-Counselings and Coaching and presenter of the Love, Happiness, and Success podcast, your spouse may require some extra time to process their feelings before feeling secure with you again. It's critical to recognize that rebuilding trust that they can rely on you, and that you care about how they feel, is a journey, not an event, says Bobby. It takes time and fresh experiences to convince your partner that you will be a good keeper of their feelings. In other words, time can cure all wounds. If you've already apologized, you might feel upset that there's nothing further you can do. But because you are not a mind reader, the best thing you can do in this situation is simply ask your partner, "Is there anything you want me to do in order to move forward?" 3. I'm fiercely independent. You have an excellent job, a nice group of friends, stamps in your passport, and know how to replace a tire. Perhaps you don't, but you're getting there. In any case, you don't need a man to make it through life. Independence is amazing. However, the fiercely, strongly, entirely, and wildly component of this phrase essentially tells the person you like that he is absolutely useless to you. Regardless of who you are, feeling worthless and redundant doesn't go down well. Consider your relationship with your friends. You give and receive support, cry on each other's shoulders, and compromise without the need to express how independent you are. It's good to feel needed, and in turn, help others. A man's eagerness to help you isn't always motivated by money or gender stereotypes, but rather by a genuine desire to convey how much he appreciates you. If you squash this desire before he can express it to you, he will not want to remain in your life. 4. I don't really have any goals or ambitions. One of the most exciting aspects of dating is learning about a new person and being intrigued about their goals and desires. Telling a man you don't have any is like putting up a huge stop sign because there is nowhere else to go. He already likes your appearance, but he wants to know what's behind the charming smile and get involved in your life. Goals and dreams do not have to involve making a lot of money or having a high-powered career either, so don't be afraid to be yourself. If you enjoy floristry, dream of swinging from a rope into a lake, have a wild deer eat out of your hand, or visit every country in the world. That's cool. 5. What are we? Imagine you're a guy who is going to kiss a woman after a few dates. He's clearly excited and ready to move things ahead. As he moves, you take a step back and say, "Look, I need to know what we are." If you believe he is only interested in casual sex, which is not what you are looking for, you should end the relationship. However, if you've already been daydreaming about marriage, and nothing less would do, your agenda is getting in the way of dating happiness because you'll push him away with that single statement. In reality, this agenda is quite similar to that of a man who is merely taking you out to dinner to lure you into bed. Regardless of the real objective, it does not feel good to be the target of someone's end goals, and it is certainly not how relationships should work. True relationships happen naturally and cannot be pushed, no matter how much you desire a stable partner. Rather than worrying about what we are together, be present, have fun, and be excited. Guys hate having the talk, and the truth is that, in a perfect relationship with someone who shares your values, there is no need for a formal conversation about the relationship and where things are going. Bringing up the talk in a forceful manner will just make him feel pushed, and if he isn't ready to commit in the way you desire, the entire power dynamic of the relationship will be thrown off. You're now in the position of waiting to see if he'll choose you, which is a really disempowering place to be. Allowing things to happen naturally without force or pressure is preferable. 6. Guys always ghost or dump me. You don't need to share this information with him. He will not feel sorry for you. Instead, he may begin to suspect that something is wrong with you. I understand your goal to share prior unpleasant experiences with him in the hopes of making him reconsider before ghosting, but it will not work. Also, this makes you appear low value. You're essentially telling him you're from the reject pile, which isn't really appealing. 7. Oh, come on. Can't you take a joke? You're being too sensitive. Whether or not you are joking with the man in your life, the main thing to remember is that if anything you say doesn't have the intended effect, it's preferable to figure out why, rather than simply blaming your partner for being excessively sensitive. When your partner reacts negatively to attempts of laughter, there might be a very legitimate explanation for their hurt, such as prior trauma or deep-seated fears. You demonstrate your care for your partner by being interested in why he or she behaved the way they did. When you just criticize someone for being too thin-skinned, you convey the idea that their feelings are unimportant to you. A long-standing practice of invalidating or lowering your partner's feelings, even if you don't mean to, may be extremely destructive to your relationship and eventually lead to its failure. When you're in dispute with your partner, do your best to listen to them and show that you hear them and care about how they feel, even if you disagree or have issues about how they treated you. When you listen to your spouse and validate their feelings, you'll be astonished at how open they are to hearing your point of view. Remember that even if you had the best intentions, that doesn't change the validity of their emotional responses. Next time you're in a scenario when your partner is visibly upset by anything you said, try saying this: "I want you to know that I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I can see that I did. And I'm sorry. I will make a point of not saying anything like that again. Is there anything I can do to help you feel better in this moment?" 8. I don't care. Answering with "I don't care" sends a very bad signal. When your spouse asks for your opinion on something work-related, is struggling to choose an outfit to wear for a big interview, or is trying to pick out a location for your next date, in certain cases you may feel as if you aren't passionate enough about the subject. You may even believe that telling them you don't care is easy, since you're allowing them to do whatever they want. However, this typically communicates to your partner that you are uninterested in what is important to them. Of course, the specific situation and your tone of voice are important considerations here. If your partner asks what you want for dinner and you answer, "I don't really care, whatever you feel like," that is a different story. However, when it comes to more critical matters that your partner clearly cares about, it is always preferable to at least try to gather enough interest to weigh in, rather than simply dismiss them. And if you truly don't have an opinion, we recommend saying this instead: "I don't believe I have enough knowledge here to make a decision," or "I don't have an opinion about this. Either way, before following up with, "But what about you?" Well, there you have it. Hope it helped. Thanks for watching.